So, freeze drying another batch of nacho cheese sauce, but I know from past experiments that after it's rehydrated, it will start to get too thin. The thickener that they use for this, and it says right on the can, this was canned nacho cheese sauce, and it says right on the can, do not freeze. So the thickener doesn't hold up. So I'm going to add some of the clear gel for a thickener and then see how much it needs, and I'll add it to the packs after it's freeze dried and as I pack it when it's still dry. Well, I'm gonna, okay, 103 grams and it needs to be 500, so I need almost 400 grams of water added. Well, I'm gonna put it in this blender container. Well, let's try this out. Let's give it a pulse. Oh, that looks good. Okay, so I've got some of the Instant Clear Jel, and we know from experience that this is going to get a little bit liquidy, a little bit soupy after it's rehydrated and sets for a while. So I'm going to add some of the clear gel before I add the water. I think I'm going to add just a tablespoon and try that out, because I don't think it needs a lot. And usually for 2 cups you'd add up to 3 tablespoons, and I don't really think it needs that much. So I'm just adding a tablespoon. Okay, and then before I add the water, I'm going to just give it a shake to stir it up. So I'm going to add a little bit less than 400 grams of water. So I've got 395 grams of water here. Okay. But that looks absolutely great and very thick. Kind of a mess to get it out of here. Should have planned for that. So after I take them out of the freeze dryer, I'm going to add a tablespoon of the Instant Clear Jel to the powder, and when I bag it, so that it's ready to use and it'll thicken and stay thick after it's rehydrated. I think that solves that problem. Yeah, nice and thick. Doing another big number 10 can of nacho cheese sauce. So after nacho cheese sauce has been frozen, it doesn't thicken properly when it's thawed out. And that's true if it's freeze dried. It does okay for a while, and then it kind of gets thin. So I'm going to try a little experiment with this and some of the Instant Clear Jel. I think that would probably solve the problem. And I want to put the normal 500 grams per pan. All right, I'll scrape that off into there. And 500 grams into a pan, which would equate to about 2 cups, almost exactly. All right. That went a teeny bit over. That's okay. Whoops, that's not okay. This container will hold 6 pans worth. We'll probably do 4 or 5 pans because we're going to have nachos. Exactly, that's why we got the freeze dryer, so we wouldn't have so much stuff in the freezer.
More stuff in there now than before we got it.
That may or may not be true.
And it's certainly different things than what
Yes.
we had before.
Oh yeah, and quantities of things.
Yeah, like all that milk. It's absurd.
Do we have milk in there?
Yeah.
How much?
I didn't count it, but it's stacked maybe that tall in a bag.
Oh, I thought I'd taken care of them all. Huh.
I thought there was nacho cheese sauce, but apparently it was blended mandarin orange.
Yeah, I honestly thought I'd take care of it. So then with these, if you kind of spin it around a bit, I don't usually do this on top of the scale, but if you spin it around a little bit, it gets it flattened into the corners. Ooh, a little bit high. That's close enough. Now, we need the mustard container. So, yeah, you give that container a spin, the pan a spin, and it just throws it to all the corners and evens it out.
We have the nacho cheese sauce container now.
Yeah, it's nacho cheese sauce. I'll try to pour it into the bottom area. I said bottom. Okay, I think that's good enough. The scissors for cutting the corner out of the nacho cheese bag, you can tell because they're orange like nacho cheese. Yeah, we have the white-handled ones for the Miracle Whip when we fill up containers of Miracle Whip. And we have the putrid Hurl color when we do. Probably can't use some of that audio.
It'll be fine.
Okay, not too big of a hole because it comes out pretty well. More than that. Oh, you know that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and then hold the container because otherwise it could go flying out of there. Ooh, it's a cheese fall. Oh, if we had a pump, that'd be great. So I'm just squeezing the bag gently. Wow, this might all fit in there. I'm not even halfway full. And if it overflows, it'll just run down your hand. We know you'll lick it off.
It's nacho cheese sauce.
Is that my cheese sauce? So into the freezer for pre-freezing, and then we'll do some testing with them. Okay, so some of the nacho cheese sauce. These are 500 grams in a pan, about 2 cups. And these are the ones I'm going to try adding some thickener to when it's dry and powdered. All right, so those will go in. In there, ready to freeze dry as soon as it gets cold enough. Freeze dryer's down to the last 11 minutes. All the trays are hot now, so they're up to temperature. That's what there should be. I'll bypass the rest of the time. Make it a lot more quiet in here. I'll open the drain valve. And I'll leave the machine running until I double check. Let's get the light on. Until I double check to make sure everything's dry. The cheese sauce is completely, it looks like it's completely dry. We'll break it open and make sure. And I'll leave this running and chilling till I confirm that everything's dry. And I'll get this over to the bagging area. I'm going to check these cheeses first, or the slabs of cheese. All right, good and dry inside. There's no wet spots, damp spots. Everything's nice and toasty. Yep, that looks great. So now I can bag those. So I can turn off the freeze dryer first to be quieter. Now these are some dots, some experimental pieces. I'll just move those out of the way. All right, so the cheese worked out well. There's 500 grams in each block. Well, it was 500 grams before it was freeze dried. And from my previous experiments, I know that when it gets rehydrated, it's going to be slightly too liquidy. It's not going to thicken again properly because the thickener that was used on this is not stable when freezing. And it says right on the can not to freeze, and that's why. But of course, I'm freezing them and freeze drying them. I'm going to powder it up a bit, and then going to add 1 tablespoon of the Instant Clear Jel to the powder so that when we go to rehydrate it, it will have the thickening that it needs. I'll probably want to put it in a blender or food processor when I rehydrate it. Make sure that it's nice and smooth. But I can do most of it, or a good deal of it right now. And that's all I'm going to do with it for now. That should be enough. Then I'll add 1 tablespoon of the Instant Clear Jel. And kind of mix that around a little bit, and then bag it. Just give it a good shake, and that'll be mixed pretty good. Now I've got my bags. And I think I'll weigh this. The previous ones were, I think they were about 100 grams after it was freeze dried. Let's see how this came out. Okay, so that's ready to put an oxygen absorber in and then seal it up for later. Add a tablespoon of Instant Clear Jel. Again, I'm not going to worry about getting it 100% crushed right now. And again, oxygen absorber, and then seal. Okay, so add the oxygen absorbers. I'm going to squeeze out any extra air, zipper them shut, and seal them. And done. 139 grams for the gross weight.